This is a phase 1/2 study that Jasper is conducting in collaboration with Stanford University. And a phase 1/2 study is such that the first portion, the phase 1 portion, is really looking for safety in these patients. So when you give our drug to these patients, is it safe? And the phase 2 portion then is really looking for efficacy. In the first 2 patients that we've dosed in this study, or that Stanford dosed in this study, not only did we see the safety profile that is more than acceptable in this patient population, we also saw the sign of efficacy, like I previously discussed, relating to chimerism. So in this study, the study is designed to treat patients who have Fanconi anemia, who are in bone marrow failure. And so that in bone marrow failure means that if something does not change in this patient, they will succumb to their disease. Their bone marrow is not producing enough of the types of blood cells that these patients need, and unfortunately, they will succumb to their disease. So they need to be transplanted. And in these patients, we used our antibody with the backbone of a standard conditioning regimen with 2 drugs called fludarabine and Cytoxan, and in addition to that, rituximab. And normally in these patients, they would also get what's called TBI, or total body irradiation. And they use that irradiation to make certain that in all of the bone in the body, that those stem cells that I talked about previously are cleared out. In this study, we replaced the TBI with our antibody, the 191 antibody, to see if the antibody could replace that toxic TBI in these patients and clean out the bone marrow niche. And in the first 2 patients that we've dosed, again, what we've observed in these patients is that, in fact, we achieved 100% chimerism in these patients, meaning that 100% of the cells that went into the bone marrow found their home. They embedded in the bone marrow and are now starting to produce the types of blood cells that you need to have. So we're very excited about this data.